All right, so yeah, why don't we just start with like you tell us a bit more about yourself, like yeah, just like tell us a bit more about yourself and just like do a little intro. Or I
Hey,
can
I'm
just
Callan. I've been playing Echo for nearly 4 years now. I played baseball before this, so I think that helped a little bit with the throwing. But yeah,
like, why
yeah,
don't you tell us a bit more about how you started Echo? Just
yeah.
like what was your
So
process? What you did? Yeah.
I don't know, just popped up on Oculus Store like day 2 of my Rift. Lone Echo was like, "Hey, pick me. I'm the best game right now." I was like, "Sure, looks good." Then there was the campaign, multiplayer. Campaign for 5 minutes. I'm a little slow, so got tired of that. Switched to multiplayer. Boom, blew my mind. Instant addiction.
When I had a conversation before, it sounds like when you guys started, you just played a lot of pubs, right?
Yeah, no, just pub 4 hours a day, 2 years straight.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of fucking hours. All right, so like what when you mentioned getting the more the competitive side, and like how would you were there any specific things for you that sort of clicked as you were playing pubs? Like wow, like this took you to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in DMs, there was this one guy, like a Smurf or a Snork or whatever he wants to be
Yeah,
called. He showed
yeah.
me like boosting, just kind of crazy stuff that made me realize what was possible. Like that really utilized VR, like boosting. You're breaking the laws of thermodynamics, like right away. Like it's just kind of nuts. And I was like, wow, comp for this must be crazy. And I looked it up, joined the Discord, all that. There was like 10 teams. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, top 10, woohoo!
Yeah. Yeah, but so okay, so when you got into your team, as you're mentioning now, as you guys are, went through Master Cycle last season, this season as well. What would you say really helps your team improve, and how do you guys work on your teamwork and stuff like that?
So a lot with improvement is just communication. Like, if I know what we need to do to get better, then I'm gonna tell them and be like, hey, we should work on this in our next scrim. Or if I don't know, I can be like, hey, do you guys have any ideas how to get better and beat this one team or just improve in general? Like, most of it's communication, because you have to start somewhere. You have to start with knowing what the issue is, or knowing at least what to practice.
Would you be able to give like an example of that? Like maybe I know like this season there's some secrets for sure since you're still playing comp. But like last season or something, was there anything you like? Wow, like there was this team, and like can you walk us through the process of how your team like works through a problem?
All right, so one of our bigger problems as a team, like coming together mid-season and all that, was comms. Like, comms were shit at the beginning. Like, so I don't know what your language thing is, but
That doesn't
I
matter.
mean, I might swear a little bit. I don't
We're
know.
gonna curse. It's fine. We're gonna curse.
Yeah, so comms were terrible. Like, I would just shut up if things weren't working. Will would just be quiet a little bit. Like, it just wouldn't work. So practice, practice, practice. That's all it takes a lot of the time.
So how'd you work on your comms? Was it just like, okay, we're just gonna play, everybody start talking, or was there like,
So
how do you go through that process? How do you
we tried starting like that, like, hey, just call out everything, just do call outs. And guess what? It didn't work right away.
Okay.
It's not just gonna magically work. So we had scrims where each round we'd have a different teammate call it. So let's say it was his turn. So he would have to call out everyone's positions, the disc position, turnovers, who had it on the other team, where it was, everything. It was on one guy. And then switch it up, and it works wonders. Because then you have like everyone gets used to keeping track of everything. So it's less about actually calling it out, and more everyone's on the same page on where everything is. And then the callouts are just like, what's the word? Subconscious at that point, like muscle memory essentially.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. I've actually never considered that. So you would sort of
Yeah, it
rotate
works.
in scrims, right? One person
so
do everything.
One person push mute, everyone else push to talk.
Okay, awesome. No, that makes a lot of sense actually. That's awesome. So this is
man.
exactly what I wanted to go through, like these kind of things, like how do you work through that? So any other would you say, was there another issue, like we'll come back to comms, but was there something else that your team sort of had an issue with, or that like walk me through how you guys
All right,
improved?
so
And again,
another example of something that we specifically practiced in scrims was like rushing into the bubble. So if you're off a QB and you got to pass half court, great. That's the first half of the battle, literally. So after that, like, we'd just rush into the bubble, shoot it, and be like, shoot, we messed up. Gotta go back, boost back to home, play defense, hopefully get a turnover, reset, blah blah blah. So, and then just after that, if that wasn't working, we needed to slow it down and just reset every time. Literally every pass, reset. Reset,
Pass reset.
set up for a play in the bubble. That doesn't work, reset.
Okay.
Like if
So-
you have any doubt about a pass, just reset it.
Yeah, okay. Any doubts, just reset. And would you say how do you go about the process of resetting? Did you just have one person back? Did they call out positions? Like how do you go about resetting?
Yeah, generally you'd have like goalie at double diamond or on the floor at ready at on, something like that. So if you have a stationary spot that generally angles lead to, and by that I mean, so if I'm at shoulder, let's say I catch the pass from the reset, my plan was to pass it at someone to the backboard, but they get covered. I'm like, okay, resetting. If they're at double diamond, I can throw it essentially anywhere this way, it'll end up there. If it's trench, it'll hit double diamond. If it hits that wall, it'll bounce off the floor up to where he can get it. Like, almost all of the angles from here will end up to double diamond or somewhere where he can get it.
Sure.
It's just stuff like that that helps.
Okay, so it sounds like your reset options, you have them on enemy side double diamond, correct? Or your side double diamond?
Yeah, so if it's enemy side and you hit like a crooked bounce or something that won't end up as close as you'd like, he can get there way faster than if somewhere else.
Okay, cool. Okay. Do you have any specific process of doing the reset? So again, as you just mentioned, it's like you just sort of, someone's set up, you can throw it pretty much anywhere, it'll get to them.
Yeah, so I mean, it really depends. If you're trying to slow it down and you know you have time, then you can call it out, call out a lead if you want to. Just a lot of call outs for that. Make sure they're ready, make sure you know where you want it to be. Just don't little kid spike it.
Okay. Okay, perfect. No, this is perfect. Like the comms, the way to practice that, and then also like going through some scrims and just resetting every play that's like not, you're unsure of it, just reset it, right?
If there's anyone near the pass, reset.
Reset. Okay. Is there another issue? And by the way, this is perfect. This is exactly the kind of questions, like the kind of answers. Like these are all things that like, this is perfect for us. So, anything else? Another issue that you worked through? Would you say what were some of like the top issues that you guys improved on as a team since you guys like formed mid-season? Was there comms?
I mean,
reset?
other than that is really just consistency. So like reliably knowing like, hey, my teammate usually pushes up to shoulder or floor instead of shoulder or cross high. Like it's just like at that point it's just synergy. So you need to get used to your teammates and what they're gonna do so you can plan for that. Because if no one can react fast enough to just get thrown into a match with people who they've never played with and never know what they're gonna do. Like callouts can't cover that. You have to know somewhat what they're gonna do first.
How do you guys establish or build that synergy? Is that something you guys talk about, or is it more like you just play scrims and start feeling each other out? Or
yeah, it's less conscious than subconscious. So that's pubs. Like me and will pub constantly, like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And like we have been for a while now. Like I met Will. We didn't know each other that much the first time at OC6, and then I met him this last spring in April. And so at that point we were already on a team for a while, and so that was just pretty cool. But yeah, it's just hours upon hours of playing with each other.
Okay. I'm hearing lots and lots of repetition. And again, with how often would you say you guys practice, or you guys have like scrims and stuff? Is it 5 days a week as well with the rest of the team, or is it more just like you and Will 5 days a week?
So I don't know. It's not as professional as you're making it sound. It's more casual at this point. Yeah. Like, I don't know how NEPA works, but us as just a random group of people going, hey, you guys want to be a team? Sure, why not? It's just, hey, you guys want to get on in pub right now? You guys want to get a scrim tomorrow? It's just up in the air a lot of the time.
Yeah, man, also on that funny note, when you messaged me, yo, you want a 2v2? I was like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
You want to? I mean, I'll do it, but all right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, all good. I was like, I'll do it. I'm happy to learn from you. But I was like, I'm not sure what you can get at it.
Yeah, 2v2s help a lot. 2v2s, if you don't get a warm-up scrim, 2v2s are a great backup. Get on like 35, 40 minutes early, do, 3 rounds of 2v2, you and someone else. So, let's say you're player A, then you got B, C, D. You player A, you player D, you player B. Or, I don't know if I said that right. Just each round, like, different teammates. Then you get every possible combination. It's a good warm-up.
Yeah, okay, 2v2 as a warm-up. Is there anything specific that you do to set it up, or is it just like free-for-all on a team, do whatever?
Well, I mean, 2v2, our rules are generally, hey, don't shoot wide open goals because that's not good practice at that point. It's more about the boosting and the passing and the like, just all the stuff I talked about before.
Yeah, boosting, passing. Okay. No, that's perfect. If you can break down, so let's just say, like you're about to have your next match. You're warming up with your team right now. Like, what are the ground rules for the 2v2?
Right. Yeah. So no threes. That's a big one. Sometimes we forget, like, just don't try and go for the open three. Don't stun the stack and then shoot it. Like, so practice goalie, passes more, resets, just more getting around the defenders than like forcing them. Like, I don't know. It's hard to put into words exactly what I mean.
Okay. But it sounds like you're
about this in DMs before I would have thought about it.
Yeah, no, this just came up, right? It just came up. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, for sure. We can also go through it. We can talk to your DM later. You can tell me about this stuff. But it sounds like you're having 2v2, different teammates every round, no long threes, right? And it sounds like you're practicing all the things. It sounds like even the goalie is moving up on offense, correct? Or like the goalie.
Yeah, you have to.
No one's like...
If you have the assurance that they're not just going to chuck it past you, then you can move up as much as you want. Like, we wouldn't have resets that far back. Like, the only reason that a reset is at double diamond as opposed to, like, nest or, like, diamond or middle block, I don't know what most people call it. I call it 80 block. Reset would be there if the other team couldn't clear it. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so this is sort of going back a bit, but I'm hearing when you say, like, reset, it's not just having reset to double diamond. The reset moves up if your team's feeling confident. Is that correct?
So if you're about to, like, shoot it, pretty much, you don't want to reset to be a double diamond. You'd want to be like trench or bow tie, somewhere closer. Because if you try and reset to double diamond and you do hit a weird bounce that they could get to, it takes time, and the other team could stack up and beat you to it if you're that far back.
Okay. So so let's just say you guys are moving up on bubble offense. Where do you have your reset guy? Like, what's the process? Is it just sort of by feel? Is it like if you guys are in bubble, he moves up? Like, is there?
Yeah. So a lot of it is like, I don't want to say average distance from goal, but that's pretty much it. It's like intuition. It doesn't matter the numbers. It's more time to scoring. So if we're 5 seconds before scoring, you don't want to be super far back. You want to be up close, ready for the missed shot, ready for the goalie trying to clear it, ready for that type of stuff. If you're 10 seconds to goal, that's a lot longer. A lot can happen in 10 seconds. You want to be ready for almost anything, so you want to be a little farther back.
Oh, okay. So it's not distance, it's your team's timing on when you're about to score or do a shot attempt.
Yeah, so if you know there's an open lane on the floor, like let's say there's someone under goal, enemy team does not know they're anywhere there. Like they only know about the two other guys. So if someone's got it corner down there, they've got an open lane all the way under goal. Reset shouldn't be a double diamond. They should be at bow tie or 80 block even. Because you know the pass isn't going to get intercepted. You want to be ready for what's going to happen after that instead of that.
Okay, so let me see if I understand, because this is actually a concept that I didn't know. This is really interesting for me. It sounds like there's disc is at fucking half court. It's not going. you gotta walk, right? Let's say if you're about to, like, if you're close to making a shot attempt, and as you mentioned, it's like, a few seconds from a shot attempt, reset should be moving up. So even if the disc is close to the bubble, but you know that you guys are going to take more time to, like, before the shot attempt, it sounds like the reset should be a little farther back.
Yeah, so basically the reset needs to know what they need to be ready for. If they need to be ready for a goalie trying to clear it, that's different from someone trying to pass it down tunnel or trying to shoot a half court or full court even. Okay. Like, a lot of it is, like I said, with synergy with teammates, you want to know what your teammates are going to do. You want to know what the opponents are going to do. You want to know if they clear high mid or edge a tunnel, something like that.
Okay. This is a really interesting topic. I just don't think I have enough, like, info. Like, I want to dig into it, but I got a few other questions for you as well. So I just want to make sure our time is good.
If we did.
Yeah, we only got like a few minutes, so I want to make sure it's good. So let's sort of go into the next question, which is, if you had someone that, as we mentioned, if they're like brand new and they just wanted to get into competitive, so they have some basic knowledge, right? So they don't have to do basics, but they're just getting into competitive. Like, what would you recommend, like, how they start their like competitive journey?
So I'd do it the way I did it again. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. So I had one teammate that I would just play with constantly. like essentially a best friend, pretty much. Like, sounds corny, but if you have perfect synergy with someone and you know you're a hive mind with them, essentially, it works really good.
Nice, nice. That's perfect. All right, so Callan here. Advice: Hive Mind. Hive Mind is the advice. Is that why you had the team name?
Yes, sir.
It is. I did not know that. That's
I don't
so
know if
cool.
you guys have seen it, but we have an updated bio. It's pretty good, and by good I mean bad. But
oh yeah, I got to see the updated bio. There was a while I was just like, just people's names. Yeah. All right. Let's do. Okay. So it sounds like newer edge competitive. Like find a best friend and just play with them constantly and develop synergy.
yeah.
Would you say how is there anything specific you would say to develop synergy? Is there anything like they should specifically go about doing?
A lot of it is just playing. So like 2v2s, pubs. If you're in pubs, especially like off a joust stack with each other, just try and prioritize each other over like even winning. It's like me and Will, let's say for example, we're just screwing around, having fun at night pubbing. We don't care about winning whatsoever. Like Will's got 5,000 matches, I've got 1 billion accounts. It doesn't matter to either of us. We're just screwing around.
Okay, so you're prioritizing stacking. And I imagine like bubble offense, you're passing each other, you're doing all that. Is there anything specific you guys do? Like for example, do you guys prioritize passing to each other as well? Or
yeah,
is it just
so it's well for the stacking thing, it's not just stacking, it's stacking with each other specifically.
Yeah.
Like just a PUBG mate. Well, I mean, they could be gone the next game, they could be back in a year, who knows? They could be gone forever after that. So yeah, and then passing, so generally you'll have better callouts and comms with whoever you're playing with. So the comms will be better, the passes will be more open, you'll know where he's going to be, you know where he's going to go. It just works a lot better. So yeah, they'll generally get a lot more passes. Like when was the last time you had a pub with good comms?
Iffy sometimes.
If at all.
If at all, right? I actually have to mute myself in pubs now, but that's a whole different topic.
That's rough.
Yeah, how does the team get together to practice and like do practice? Again, it sounds like sort of up in the air, and it's just like you guys, whenever you guys are on, you just guys sort of get on together. Is that correct?
Yeah, so a lot of it's just up in there, like, hey, how many scrims do you want to do this week? Or is there any specific teams? If there is a specific team, like if we want to scrim Kang, for example, we've been trying to get a scrim with them recently, then we'd try and get like a specific day or something like that. Like, so Discord and Let Us Meet are our go-tos. Let Us Meet, you can just create like this week, these days from 10 a.m., 10 p.m. When are you available? And then you highlight the days and hours you are, and it works beautifully.
Awesome. Yeah, I've used that as well. That's awesome. Next question will sort of build onto that, which is, as you guys progress through the ranks, did you guys practice more, practice less, or did your team sort of change at all as you went through the ranks?
So Hive Mind has been a team for like a season, if I can even say that, because it came together like halfway through last season after I left Spartan. So Hive Mind hasn't had a ton of like just straight up, hey, let's get on just us practice. Like we've had a few just to get like Wit on board and all that stuff, but not a lot of just, hey, practice.
Okay. Yeah. And then I think we just have one more question, which is if what would you say separates like the top master teams from the teams that are like in platinum, diamond? What do you think separates? And one good example is like what do you think separates Joker from like the rest of like the lower tiers?
Okay, so Joker or Ignite as they are
yeah,
these
right.
days.
Ignite. Gotta call them Ignite now.
So Kung, Ryan, Jay, they've been a team since ESL like years ago. That's like 2-3 years ago already. For what, 2018? Yeah. So they have been teammates, like they are the ideal teammates essentially. They've been playing together as long as they can remember Echo, I'd imagine. Like since old lobby. So yeah. Synergy, perfect. They all have the consistency too to be the best team in the world. Like if you're playing that much, that long, like you're not gonna have bad mechanics at that point.
Cool. It sounds like again as you mentioned, Hive Mind, right? Like synergy together, perfect. All right. I think that covers most of the questions. I think that's yeah. Anything you want to add in, Quinn or Bacon? I think I got Bacon's question. Anything?
I think you got mine.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to just sort of leave us off with? Anything else you want to say? I got all my questions answered.
All right. Yeah. One more thing. If you're intimidated by just thousands of hours of practice or even hundreds, don't be, because you need. So if you want to be like diamond or master, it takes the time, and if you think it's worth it, then it's worth it. If you don't, then it's not. It's as simple as that.
All right, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and I think we're gonna end it right there. Cut. Yeah, I think we're good. Yo, thank you so much, man. You're really appreciate it. That was fucking awesome, dude. You had such like the comm stuff and about resets and like. Yeah. Dude, that's blowing my mind. I haven't had one.
That stuff is hard to do though. Like to just say push to talk.
I love that idea for having one person do all the comms in a pub.
Yeah,
dude,
one person do all the comms. No, that makes a lot of sense.
It's a pain in the ass, but it works wonders.